Wait for a moment. Today, I will take you to the gates of a place where every step is fragrance, every sight is light, and every breath is peace. These are the gates of Jannah, and once you hear about them, your heart will forget the world. When the veil of the dunya is finally lifted and your soul steps into eternity, you find yourself before a gate so vast its edges fade into the horizon, its surface gleaming with a light that is not of the sun or moon, but of a mercy that has no end. Across the arch is inscribed in shimmering script, Dar al-Mu'minin, the abode of the believers, and two angels stand there, faces radiant, garments brighter than the whitest snow, welcoming you with the words promised in the Quran. Peace be upon you. You have done well. So enter here to abide eternally. 39:73. Their voices carrying a melody that feels like home. You step forward, and instantly the air changes. The fragrance of musk amber and gardens unknown to the earth fills you, each breath washing away the dust of worldly struggle, every wound, every silent grief. The ground is soft beneath your feet, like a meadow woven from light, and before you stretches a city of unimaginable beauty, homes not of stone or clay, but of luminous pearls, glistening emeralds, and pure gold. Each wall alive with a gentle glow, as if every atom is in praise of the one who created it. Rivers flow between these dwellings, not merely water, but crystal streams clear enough to see each shining pebble below. Milk whose taste never changes, honey pure and golden, wine that brings no intoxication, but joy and clarity beyond earthly comprehension. Their sound blending with the songs of birds whose colors shift like living jewels. As you walk, you see no trace of sorrow here, no rush, no burden, only faces glowing with youth that never fades, eyes bright with joy, garments of silk finer than any hand could weave, colors so vivid they seem alive. Some believers stroll together, laughter ringing in the air with a purity untainted by rivalry or envy. Others recline on golden embroidered cushions in gardens fragrant with blossoms, speaking of the days of patience and faith that led them here. An angel approaches, holding a cup of silver so pure it reflects not only your face, but the light of your soul. You drink, and the taste is beyond any fruit or sweetness you knew on earth, leaving you in perfect peace. The gardens stretch endlessly, trees heavy with fruits that lean down to meet your hand, petals whispering praises in a language your heart understands without words. Each bite flooding you with flavor that feels newly created in that very moment. You eat not from hunger, but from the pure joy of tasting what has no flaw. A breeze passes carrying a harmony unlike music, a blend of light, laughter, flowing rivers, and angelic voices. And above it all you hear the divine greeting of eternal safety. Eternity itself lies before you without the shadow of ending. In the shade, not from cloth or leaves, but from the outspread wings of angels, believers gather, served with golden trays of delights, their conversations pure truth and kindness, their hearts perfectly open. Even those you never met in dunya are instantly known to you as brothers and sisters, the love between you free of fear and loss. You meet the man who prayed for you unseen, the woman who gave for Allah's sake, the child whose smile eased your heavy day. Here there is no barrier, no mistrust. As you walk further, you feel this is already the fullness of reward. And yet an angel leans toward you and says, "This is the reward for those who believed and did righteous deeds. But your Lord has prepared for you what no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined." And you understand that even this perfect peace is only the first step of a journey that climbs forever higher into the mercy of Allah. You step from the beauty of Dar al-Mu'minin into a light even gentler, even purer, and the air itself feels alive with a serenity that seems to reach into the very center of your soul. Before you stands another gate, higher than mountains and adorned with inscriptions of gold and sapphire, bearing the words, Dar al-Salam, the abode of peace. As you cross its threshold, you feel a wave of tranquility so complete that every memory of fear, anxiety, or sadness evaporates as though they never existed. And you understand why Allah has named himself As-Salam, the source of peace. For this is a place where peace is not only around you, it is within you, in your thoughts, in your breath, in the rhythm of your very being. The streets are wide and luminous, paved with gold so pure it feels like warm sunlight under your feet. And on either side rise palaces carved from single gemstones, glowing softly as though lit from within by the remembrance of Allah. Their windows are open to gardens, where fountains murmur in praise, and every sound is gentle, harmonious. No harshness, no sharpness, only the sweet blending of running water, rustling leaves, and voices reciting eternal words of gratitude. The people here walk without hurry, their steps light as if they glide, their faces shining with a calm joy that never fades, their eyes reflecting the gardens and skies of this place. You see a group of believers gathered beneath a vast tree whose branches seem to cradle the sky, its leaves shimmering in silver and gold, casting a shade that is cool yet filled with a warm glow, and beneath it flows a river clear as crystal, its current so smooth it feels as if it is breathing. You sit by the water, dipping your hand into its cool depths, and the touch alone renews you, as if every cell of your being is infused with strength and clarity. Angels pass among the dwellings, carrying trays of drinks in goblets of pure crystal and gold, the liquids glistening in colors you never saw in dunya. They invite you to drink, and each sip fills you with a sweetness that brings not thirst, but a sense of closeness to your Creator. Here there are no disputes, no rivalries, no past hurts. Hearts are completely pure, and the believers greet one another with words of peace. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullah, each greeting more radiant than the last. Laughter is here, but it is soft, wholesome, free from mockery or pride, a laughter that only grows the love between souls. As you wander deeper, you pass gardens where flowers bloom in shapes and colors that seem painted by light itself, their fragrance changing with each breath you take, so that no scent ever becomes familiar enough to lose its wonder. Fruits hang heavy from trees, and when you reach for one, it comes to you without effort, the branch lowering itself as if eager to serve. Each taste unlike the last, each one an entirely new creation of flavor. Above, the sky is not a static blue, but a living canvas, where soft rivers of light flow, shifting gently as if to remind you that beauty here is always fresh. Every so often, a gentle breeze moves through the city, carrying with it whispers from the angels, reminders of Allah's eternal mercy, of the love He has for those who are patient and steadfast. In Dar al-Salam, time itself has no power over you. There is no urgency, no waiting, no counting of days, for every moment is complete in itself. Here, you sit with friends who were strangers on earth but are now bound to you in an unbreakable brotherhood and sisterhood of faith. Together, you speak of the moments when Allah answered your du'as, the nights you rose to pray, the tests that felt unbearable but now seem like the shortest of shadows. The joy of this sharing fills the air like a fragrance, and the angels smile as they pass, for they too remember your struggles and celebrate your reward. At times, you are alone by the riverside, looking at the water's reflection and realizing it is not only your face you see the reflection of peace itself, a light that now resides in you forever. Then a call is heard, not from any human lips, but from the throne itself, inviting the people of Dar al-Salam to gather for a vision beyond all reward. And when you join them, you realize this peace is not merely the absence of trouble, but the active presence of Allah's nearness, a nearness that will only draw you higher into joy and love without end. From the gates of Dar al-Salam, you are led by angels whose wings shimmer like dawn light into a garden, so vast you cannot see its end. And as you enter, the fragrance of countless blossoms greets you like a warm embrace. This is Jannat al-Mawa, the garden of refuge, promised in the Quran as a resting place for those who feared their Lord. Here, every breath feels like a sigh of relief, as if all the burdens of dunya have melted into the earth, leaving only gratitude. Towering trees stretch toward the heavens, their trunks of silver, their leaves layered in emerald and gold, each leaf softly glowing with the remembrance of Allah. Among their roots, streams of water flow in perfect clarity, so pure they seem woven from liquid light. And as you drink from them, the taste is not merely sweet. It carries a warmth that feels like mercy itself entering your chest. The sound of these waters is a lullaby that settles into your bones, telling your soul, you are safe now, you are home, forever. The air is alive with birds of every color, their feathers jeweled in ruby, sapphire, and pearl, their songs harmonizing in praise without a single note of sorrow. Here, every creature is gentle. Deer with eyes like polished amber walk beside you, and gazelles pause to let you pass, as if honoring the steps of a guest beloved by Allah. The dwellings of the people of Mawa are unlike any seen before. Some are mansions carved from single diamonds. Others are soft pavilions woven from threads of golden light. And each one is exactly what its owner's heart most desired. For Allah Himself has shaped them from your unspoken dreams. Above these dwellings, vines heavy with fruit hang down, fruits unlike any of earth, some like pearls, some like suns in miniature, and each bite unlocks a memory of joy you never knew you carried. The people here are those who once felt alone in dunya, those who cried in sujud when no one saw, those who found in Allah their only refuge. And now, they walk together, clothed in garments woven from silk so fine it feels like morning mist against the skin, adorned with crowns set with gems that shine with a light brighter than stars. They greet each other with smiles that hold no shadow, only the pure happiness of souls who have been reunited beyond the reach of separation. The angels in Mawa are not only messengers, they are companions sitting with the believers, speaking of the times they stood unseen beside them on earth, guarding them through trials, delivering Allah's comfort to their hearts. Here, no pain remains, every wound, every loss, every ache of dunya has been rewritten into beauty. For in Jannat al-Mawad, your past is not erased, but transformed into jewels of meaning. The garden is alive with light, light from the skies, light from the rivers, light from the very earth beneath your feet. And yet it is never blinding, always gentle, like a constant reminder of Allah's mercy embracing you. Pathways of crystal, wind through fields of flowers whose colors shift with each step you take, so that you never walk the same road twice, and at every turn you find a place to rest, a couch of gold under the shade of a tree, a balcony opening over a river that sings, a meadow where the grass glows softly beneath the stars, and the stars themselves are closer here, as if bowing toward the people of paradise, shining in patterns you never saw in the world below. Sometimes you sit by the riverside with companions, prophets, martyrs, the righteous, and the conversations are not rushed, for here there is no clock to chase. They speak of Allah with such love that every word feels like a blessing falling into your heart. And sometimes you are alone, and in that solitude you hear a call deep within you, not in words but in pure feeling. The awareness that this refuge is not just a place, but a state of being in which Allah's nearness is so real it is as if His mercy is the air you breathe. And then, without warning, an angel approaches and invites you to a gathering. You follow, and you find yourself among thousands, all seated in a circle of light, waiting in breathless stillness. And in that moment, a radiance unlike anything before fills the garden, and you understand. In Jannat al-Mawad, the greatest refuge is not the beauty, not the peace, not the companionship. It is the nearness of Allah Himself, the one who was your protector in dunya and is now your host in eternity. Dar al-Khuld, the eternal abode, is not merely a dwelling. It is the final unbreakable seal on the believer's journey, the place where eternity begins without the shadow of an end. And as you step inside, you feel the profound weight of a truth you once knew only as words in the Quran. They will abide therein forever. This is not like any home of dunya, for here nothing ages, nothing fades, and nothing dies. The very air feels timeless, as if it has never been touched by the passing of years. Above you stretches a sky woven from living light, shifting through hues of dawn, sunset, and the deep velvet of star-filled night, yet never repeating exactly. as if Allah himself is painting it anew for your eyes alone. The palaces here rise high with walls of crystal, so clear you can see the rivers flowing inside them. Their floors paved with smooth gemstones that feel warm underfoot, carrying the energy of joy itself. Golden arches frame doorways that open not into rooms, but into entire gardens, orchards, and glades, each more beautiful than the last. The dwellers of Dar al-Khuld are clothed in garments so radiant they seem to carry their own daylight, and every fabric is light as breath, yet more precious than any jewel of dunya. The crowns on their heads shine with brilliance, but even more luminous are their faces, lit from within by the eternal contentment of those who know they will never taste sorrow again. Here, there is no fear of loss, no parting, no death, no sickness, no loneliness. For Allah has sealed this place with his promise that all who enter are safe forever. The rivers of honey, milk, water, and wine here are broader than those in other gardens, flowing not only across the land, but through the very hearts of the people, so that each sip deepens the soul's peace. The orchards bend their branches toward you, heavy with fruits that shine like lanterns, each one giving a flavor you never knew existed, and each bite unveiling a layer of joy that seems to bloom endlessly in your chest. The eternal abode is not silent. It is filled with melodies of angels' voices, reciting the praises of Allah in tones so pure they make your soul tremble, yet you never tire of hearing them. Laughter, too, is heard here, the pure laughter of friends reunited, of families who once prayed for each other in dunya, now sitting together without the fear of separation. And there is a rhythm to life here. Gatherings in gardens where the Prophet Muhammad sits among his ummah, speaking with them as a father to his children. Walks under endless trees where the leaves whisper secrets of Allah's mercy. Moments by the river when the cool mist on your face feels like a kiss from Jannah itself. And yet, even in all this beauty, the greatest treasure is the certainty that it will never be taken away. In dunya, every joy was shadowed by the fear of it ending. But here, you can love without fear, dream without waking, rest without rushing, and live without counting days. The dwellers of Dar al-Khuld remember dunya only as a story they once told, its hardships now distant as a faint echo, serving only to make their gratitude greater. Sometimes an angel will come to you and say, "Your Lord wishes to meet you." And in that instant, all creation seems to pause. You are lifted beyond the gardens, beyond the rivers, beyond the light, and brought into a gathering where every soul is facing a radiance more beautiful than anything in paradise. The vision of Allah, the source of all joy, the end of all longing. And in that meeting, you understand why Dar al-Khuld is eternal. Because the nearness of Allah here is not a moment, but a forever. And every forever in this place is sweeter than the one before. When you return to your palace, it is not because you are sent away, but because the joy of that meeting now lingers in every breath you take, every step you walk, and every sight your eyes behold. And so life in Dar al-Khuld flows on, not in days or years, but in layers of unending bliss, where every moment feels like the first taste of joy, and every joy feels like the first moment of life, a life that never ends. For Allah has written your name in the book of those who are Khalidin Fiha Abada, abiding therein forever. Jannat al-Nam, the Garden of Delight, is the realm where every breath is a song of joy and every sight is a window into the purest beauty ever created. A place where the very word delight seems too small to hold the fullness of what it means to dwell here. When you first enter, the air itself feels alive, fragrant with a sweetness you cannot name, a perfume that seems to be made of every good memory you ever had in dunya, the laughter of loved ones, the scent of rain after prayer, the warmth of your mother's hands, all woven together into something more perfect than you thought possible. The light here is soft and golden, yet it carries no heat, and it falls across the gardens in shimmering patterns that move like gentle waves over emerald grass, so lush it feels as if it's singing praises under your feet. The dwellers of Jannat al-Nam live in palaces crafted from layers of silver and gold that glow softly from within, each room opening into a courtyard filled with fountains that release water, so clear you can see the tiny pearls resting at the bottom. These fountains do not simply refresh the body, they seem to refresh the soul, each sip igniting a deeper awareness of Allah's mercy, each drop a reminder that you are here not because you earned it fully, but because His love was greater than your flaws. The fruit trees here bow in graceful arcs, their branches heavy with gifts. Some fruits glow with an inner light. Others are so richly colored they seem to hold the colors of dawn and dusk inside them. Every bite is like tasting the sweetness of Allah's forgiveness itself, flooding you with joy that feels like sunlight filling your heart. The people here are adorned in garments that shimmer as though stitched from morning light and the softest clouds, and the crowns upon their heads seem less like symbols of rank and more like reflections of the happiness etched into their faces. This is a place without shadows of sorrow, for here no jealousy exists, no pain, no regret. Every soul is purified, loving the others as they love themselves, and every smile you see is genuine, born from a heart that knows only peace. In Jannat al-Nam, gatherings are a daily joy. Believers sit together at tables, so long they seem to stretch into the horizon, yet no one is far from anyone else. For the space bends to bring hearts closer. Angels serve dishes that never empty, and drinks that never sour, and each taste awakens new layers of gratitude. Music here is not of instruments, but of creation itself. The rustling leaves hum in harmony with rivers that murmur in praise, and birds with wings of light weave melodies in the air, each note lifting your spirit higher. Sometimes, as you rest under the shade of a tree whose branches seem to touch the stars, you will feel the breeze carry whispers of your Lord's love, as if the very wind is reciting to you the ayah. For those who believe and do righteous deeds, for them are the gardens of delight. And in those moments, you will realize that the true delight here is not in the palaces or rivers or jewels, but in the constant awareness that Allah is pleased with you, that His smile is upon your soul. This joy seeps into every part of life here, into your walks with friends who once prayed beside you in dunya, into the way your heart leaps When you remember, you will never again feel the ache of missing someone. Into the stillness of evenings, where the sky blooms with colors no artist could paint. And sometimes, in the midst of this beauty, an angel will invite you to a gathering unlike any other, where the prophets themselves are present, where Prophet Muhammad greets you with a smile that feels like the completion of every prayer you ever made. And you sit and listen as they speak not of hardship, but of the victories of faith. In those gatherings, time does not pass, for time itself feels unnecessary. You are simply here in joy forever. When you return to your home in Jannat al-Nam, the doors open before you as if they know your heart, and your seat by the window overlooks rivers that sparkle like liquid light, flowing into the distance until they merge with the horizon. As you rest, you will find yourself whispering praises without thinking, for gratitude here is as natural as breathing. And though every day is filled with delights beyond imagination, each new moment still surprises you, as if Allah is showing you that His generosity has no limit, that even eternity will not exhaust His gifts. And in that realization lies the greatest delight of all, knowing that the joy you feel now will not fade, that it will only grow, that in Jannat al-Nam, the promise of Nam, true everlasting delight, is not a description, but a reality you will live in forever, wrapped in the mercy and nearness of your Lord, with a heart so full it feels like it could hold the whole of paradise within it. And at Al-Firdaus, the highest and most honored garden, is the crown jewel of paradise, the place where the purest of believers, the prophets, the martyrs, and those closest to Allah dwell, a realm so magnificent that even the most poetic heart in dunya could never truly imagine it. Here, the very air is alive with the remembrance of Allah, carrying a fragrance unlike anything known, a scent that feels like the very essence of peace, so sweet and pure it seems to cleanse you with each breath. The sky above Jannat al-Firdaus is a canopy of light, not like the sun or the moon, but a radiance that has no source except the pleasure of Allah Himself, filling every corner with a soft, eternal glow. The rivers here are unlike any in the lower gardens. Some flow with crystal clear water that glitters as if each drop is a tiny gem. Some with milk whose taste is purer than innocence. Some with honey thick and golden, richer than any sweetness you ever knew. And some with wine that causes no harm or intoxication, but fills the heart with joy and the mind with clarity. The palaces of Jannat al-Firdaus are beyond grandeur, towering structures of gold and silver, their walls inlaid with rubies, emeralds, and pearls so luminous they seem to contain starlight, and each gate carved from a single flawless gem, opening to halls so vast that even the imagination feels small. The gardens overflow with trees whose roots drink from rivers of mercy, whose branches sway with fruits so perfect that one glance makes you long to taste them. And when you do, their sweetness seems to tell the story of every prayer you made in hardship and every tear you shed in secret for the sake of your Lord. The ground is a carpet of musk and saffron, soft beneath your feet, leaving no dust or blemish, and every step you take releases a new fragrance, as if Jannat al-Firdaus itself celebrates your presence. Here, the dwellers are clothed in garments, so fine they seem to be woven from light itself, changing colors with the movements of your heart's joy, and crowns of honor rest gently on their heads, not heavy, but light as a blessing, for they are signs of Allah's approval. The companionship here is unlike anywhere else. You will sit with those you loved in dunya for the sake of Allah. You will meet the noble prophets, each face glowing with divine favor, and you will hear their voices tell stories not of trials, but of a triumph of truth. Imagine sitting in a gathering where Prophet Muhammad smiles at you and says your name, where Musa speaks of his steadfastness, where Isa speaks of mercy, and where the angels themselves serve you, their wings shimmering with colors unknown to earth. But the greatest honor of Jannat al-Firdaus is not in its rivers or palaces, not even in its gardens. It is that here above all places is where the throne of Allah, Al-Arsh, casts its shade, and the dwellers are granted the supreme gift, to see Allah, to look upon his noble face, a moment so overwhelming in beauty and majesty that your soul will feel as though it has been waiting since the beginning of time just for this. In that instant, every joy, every blessing, every beauty of paradise will feel small compared to the light and love that will flood your heart when you behold your Lord. And you will know, with a certainty deeper than breath, that this is the true reward, the reason you were created, the fulfillment of every longing you ever carried. The dwellers of Jannat al-Firdaus never fear loss, never tire, never feel even the shadow of sadness. Their days are endless celebrations of Allah's mercy. Their nights are filled with the soft glow of his nearness. Though in truth there is no night here, only the eternal radiance of his pleasure. And as you walk through your palace gardens, your fingers brushing leaves that feel like silk, and your ears hearing the gentle harmonies of rivers and birds praising Allah, you will realize that here the concept of enough does not exist. Every moment brings a new wonder, every glance a new beauty, and every heartbeat a new depth of gratitude. Even the breeze seems alive, carrying whispers of Allah's love directly to your soul, reminding you that you are home forever. And so, in Jannat al-Firdaus, you will live without fear of endings, without the ache of separation, without the weight of regret, only with the endless joy of being in the most honored place in all of creation. A guest eternally welcomed in the garden closest to the throne of the most merciful. Al-Wasila, the highest and most singular station in all of paradise, is a rank reserved for one, for the beloved of Allah, Muhammad. And it stands above all the gardens, higher than even Jannat al-Firdaus, nearer to the throne of the most merciful than any other place, so close that it is wrapped in the light of his divine nearness. It is not merely a garden or a palace, but a realm of honor beyond human description, where every color is purer, every fragrance deeper, every sound more harmonious than anywhere else in creation. Its air is like the breath of mercy, carrying a warmth that feels like eternal safety and a coolness that feels like endless peace. The ground here is luminous, not reflecting light, but radiating it, as if each grain of its soil remembers the praises of its master. The rivers of Al-Wasila are streams of pure light, flowing with knowledge, wisdom, and eternal joy. And each drop contains the sweetness of every sincere dew ever made by those who loved. The messenger palaces here rise in perfection, structures of living light, their walls made of a substance not found in dunya, something softer than silk yet stronger than diamond, glowing gently with the remembrance of Allah. In its gardens, every tree is a witness to the Prophet's truth, each branch heavy with fruits more beautiful than stars, fruits that seem to hum with the echo of Quranic recitation, and when tasted, they awaken in the heart a joy so pure it feels like standing in the first moment of creation. In Al-Wasila, the sound of the birds is not mere song, but a chorus of praise to the Creator, harmonizing with the voices of angels who move gracefully through the air, their wings shimmering like dawn mist. The fragrance here is the scent of contentment itself, a perfume made from the light of Allah's mercy, the sincerity of the Prophet, and the gratitude of all the believers who followed him. Though this station is reserved for him alone, it is the source of honor for the entire Ummah. For from here the messenger intercedes for his people, his noble voice reaching every corner of paradise and beyond, calling by name those who loved him and followed his sunnah. The beauty of Al-Wasila is not just in its gardens or its palaces, but in its nearness to Allah. For it is here that the messenger will gaze upon his Lord with a closeness no other creation will know. And in that moment, the whole of creation will feel a wave of joy unlike anything before. Those in Jannat al-Firdaus will look upward and see Al-Wasila bathed in a brilliance that no eye can fully bear, yet their hearts will swell with pride knowing it belongs to their Prophet. It is said that in this station, the light of Allah and the love of his messenger intertwine, creating an atmosphere so deeply peaceful that even the angels pause in awe. And though only one soul will dwell here, its blessings pour down like a fountain into the rest of paradise, making the gardens blossom, the rivers sing, and the dwellers rejoice. In Al-Wasila, there is no time, no change, no aging, only the eternal present of divine favor. The messenger will sit upon a seat of light, greeted continually by angels carrying salutations from his Ummah, and every greeting will blossom into new beauty in the gardens. The throne of Allah, Al-Arsh, will be so near that its shade will feel like the embrace of the most merciful, and in that nearness there is no veil, no barrier, only the joy of divine presence. Al-Wasila is the heart of paradise's joy, the highest point from which the fragrance of Allah's mercy flows to every rank below. And it is here that the promise of Allah to his beloved is fulfilled in a way that echoes through eternity, that his rank, his nearness, and his honor will be unmatched forever. And when you stand anywhere in Jannah and look upward, seeing that station of light and love, you will remember that all of paradise exists because of Allah's mercy, and because of the truth carried by his messenger, and your heart will whisper in gratitude, Alhamdulillah, for sending us Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel to watch more videos like this.